Alright, I will continue my part. Introduction. Statistics is the science concerned with developing and studying methods to collecting, analyzing, interpreting, and presenting empirical data. In developing method and studying the theory that underlies the method, statistics that draw on a variety of mathematical and computation tools. And this statistical method can be applied broadly in the variety of scientific, social, and business careers in such areas like astronomy, biology, education, economy, engineering, genetics, marketing, and health. Okay, two main statistical methods are used in data analysis. Descriptive statistics, we summarize data using index from a sample data, while descriptive statistics is the process of using and analyzing the statistics. We use the sample data from Jabatan Statistik Malaysia, Tinjauan Ekonomi 2019, Kementerian Kewangan. This aim for the assignment is designed to provide the student with a hand-on experience on how to conduct a survey, the data, and present the data. We divide into a group consists of 5 members to carry out this study and prepare a statistical analysis report for the data and information collected. Lastly, we have chosen an implement rate according to the level of education measured in 2017 to collect the numerical data for further analysis. The objective of statistics are to make an inference about a population of interest based on information obtained from a sample of measurement from the population. Thank you.
I continue to my part 2.0 graphical representation. A bar chart where display the distribution about unemployment rate in Malaysia by level of education and ethnic 2017. Table 2.0 according to the level of education in Malaysia 2017. Figure 2.0 Figure 2.0 show according to the level of education in Malaysia 2017. The highest unemployment secondary school rate is for other ethnics at 8.6, while the lowest for secondary school is China by 2.3. No formal education, the highest is India at 6.9, while the lowest is Bumiputra at 1.5. Next, the highest primary school is India at 2.5, while the lowest is China at 1.3. Finally, the highest education is India at 5.5, while the lowest is China at 2.9. Next, histogram. The table 2.1 education unemployment rate in Malaysia 2017. Figure 2.1 education unemployment rate in Malaysia 2017. Figure 2.1 show education unemployment rate in Malaysia 2000 in the histogram graph. Class 1.0 to 2.5 is the lowest at 1.75. Education employment rate in Malaysia 2017, the highest in class, 8.6 to 10, which is 9. Next pie chart. Table 2.2, education employment rate in Malaysia 2017. Figure 2.2 show education employment rate in Malaysia 2017 in the form of a pie chart. Class 1.0 to 2.5, the lowest is 0.5. Class 2.6 to 4.0 is 0.9. Next, class 0.4.1 to 5.5 as much as 1.3. 5.6 to 7.0 is 1.8, and class 7.1 to 8.5 is 2.2. Last, class 8.6 to 8.1 is the highest number of 2.6. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nur Aiful Zakaria, number ministry A2081645. Today I want to present about numerous descriptive measure. Okay, a measure of central tendency is a value that represents the center of distribute. There are three most of commonly used measure of central tendencies are mean, median, and mode. The mean education employment rate in Malaysia. The mean education unemployment rate in Malaysia 2070 is 8.81. For median is 8.8, and for mode is 8.1. Measure of variation. A measure of variation is some parameter adapted to describe the amount of variation between random variation. There are three parameters that are used to quantify the amount of variation. Is a set of random variation. It is consists of a range variation and standard deviation. The range of education employment rate in Malaysia 2070 is 10. For variance is 4.45 and standard deviation is 2.11. To determine the measure of position, the data must be sorted from lowest to highest. The different measure of variation are quaternions, decilels, and percentiles. The first quarters of education employment rate in Malaysia 2070 is 1.85. For third quarters is 6.68, and the last is interquarters is 4.83. Thank you.
Today, I want to present about statistical analysis using software. First, numerical. D is a table numerical descriptive. For the measures of central tendency, the difference between calculation and SPSS data analysis output for mean is 2.81, 1.0 minus 3.81, median is 2.5, 1.5 minus 4, and mode is 0.2, 1.2 minus 1.4. The major difference is in mean, median, and mode. Due to difference, use the manual calculation. Next, the difference between manual calculation and SPSS output for the first quartile is 0.35, 1.5 minus 1.85, and the interquartile range is 2.48, 2.35 minus 4.83. The minor difference in first quartile, third quartile, and interquartile range prove that the result that get from manual calculation. Besides, the measures variation, the difference between manual calculation and SPSS for range is 9.5, 0.5 minus 10. Standard deviation is 0.98, 1.13 minus 2.11, and the variance is 2.15, 2.3 minus 4.45. This difference in range variation and the standard deviation due to minor number of decimals used during manual calculation. Second, shapes of data distribution. D is a table shapes of data distribution. The shape of a distribution can be defined as its number of peaks and by its position by symmetry, its tendency to skew or its uniformity. Graphs often display big peaks or local maximums. It can be seen for graphs that the data count is visibly higher in certain sections of the graph. D is a table hypothesis testing, test of normality. The Shapiro-Wilk test of normality on the residuals gives a p-value of 0.025, which is less than 0.05. Thus, the association of normality of the residual terms is normal. This is a table ANOVA. The ANOVA table tests the acceptability of the model from a statistical perspective. The regression row displays information about the variation accounted for by model. The residual row displays information about the variation that is not accounted for by our model. In this station, the p-value from the ANOVA table is equal to a statistically no significant p-value equal to 0.112, so it is statistically significant because its p big 0.05. This is a table correlation analysis. The R values the unemployment rate by level of education and ethnicity in Malaysia in 2017 is 61. The R value the unemployment rate by level of education and ethnicity in Malaysia is 2017 is 4.6. This is a table confidence interval. For this research, we have set the confidence interval by 95%. Thus, our significance level is 5%, 100% minus 95%. For average, the confidence interval range is 53.2. For the upper bound is 32.3247 and lower bound is 2003.967.
I will continue the presentation about this topic, theoretical modeling. Okay, first, regression equation. In linear regression, the regression line is a perfectly straight line. Linear regression finds the straight line called the least squares regression line that best represents observation in a bivariate dataset. Suppose y is a dependent variable and x is an independent variable. For reasonable model, we need to learn how to select the appropriate model for the raw data we have. First, many factors influence the choice of mathematical models, among which are experience, scientific laws, and patterns in the data itself. Second, function is selected that approaches the data in a specified time interval. And last, the three types of functions that are often useful in mathematical models are linear functions, exponential functions, and logarithmic functions. There are three parameter values, and the first is mean. The mean is referred to as the average, and it is the most commonly used among the three measures of central tendency. Researchers use the parameter to describe the data distribution of ratios and intervals.
Second is median. The median used to calculate variables that are measured with ordinal, interval or ratio scales. And the last one is mode. The mode is the most occurring number within a data distribution. It shows what number or value is the highest in number or most common in the data distribution. The mode is used for any type of data. Variables incorporated. These models can contain many variables that operate independently or in concert with one another to explain variation in the dependent variable. It also using multiple regression can help a researcher to understand. Okay, next is conclusion remark. Based on the data obtained, the unemployment rate in Malaysia by level of education and ethnicity including in 2017. The data display will relate to things like percentage and ethnicity, but graph display information in a way that helps us make generalization and conclusion quickly and easily. And there are three most of commonly used measure of central tendency, which is the mean, the median, and the mode. That's all.